Welcome back to Carter's channel. In today's video, we follow the journey of an extraordinary man as he makes his dream come true, building a house entirely from natural materials using only the simplest of tools. See how he overcomes challenges to complete a home that reflects his vision and creativity. While searching for the perfect spot to build, he came across a sloping hillside. The natural angle of the slope seemed perfectly suited to host a unique home, one that would blend seamlessly into its surroundings, appearing and disappearing like a part of the landscape itself. He carefully selected 4 sturdy wooden stakes and planted them at key points in the area he envisioned for his home. He then tied string between the stakes to form clear boundaries, marking the exact dimensions of the future home. Once the space was outlined, he began the labor-intensive task of digging. Using only basic tools, he methodically excavated the soil, shaping the preliminary framework for the foundation. He gathered additional wooden stakes, carefully selecting sturdy pieces suitable for building the structure. Starting with the steepest section of the slope, he drove the stakes deep into the ground, ensuring they were firmly secured to create a front wall for the house. The slope's natural incline required precise placement to provide stability and balance. Once the piles were in place, he added horizontal wooden beams, stacking them methodically to form the wall. To ensure a polished and even surface, he used a saw to trim the edges on both sides, giving the wall a neat and uniform appearance. After completing the front wall, he continued digging to create a level foundation for the house. This step required patience and precision, as he worked to ensure the foundation would provide a solid foundation for the structure. Next, he turned his attention to preparing large wooden logs to serve as the main frame for the house. Carefully, he stripped the bark from each log, using simple tools to reveal the smooth, sturdy wood beneath. This process not only made the logs more visually appealing, but also helped protect them from pests and decay. Once the logs were cleaned, he gathered dry branches and built a large fire. With the flames roaring, he used the heat to char one end of each log. This traditional method, known as wood charring, helps to harden the wood and make it more resistant to rot and insect damage. He worked meticulously, ensuring each log was evenly burned at the end, preparing them to become the durable foundation and support for his home structure. He dug 4 evenly spaced holes in the ground, carefully aligning them to form the structure for the front of the house. Each hole was deep enough to securely hold the large wooden posts in place. One by one, he lifted the charred logs and positioned them upright into the holes, ensuring they stood straight and sturdy. He measured the distance between the 2 inner posts. Once he had determined the correct length, he cut the beam to fit snugly over the posts. In the middle of this horizontal beam, he placed a shorter vertical post, positioned vertically to form the top of the roof frame. Once everything was in place, he carefully secured the horizontal beam, nailing it securely to both ends of the posts. He began connecting the horizontal beams from the 2 side posts and the vertical center post to the rear earth wall. To secure the beams to the wall, he dug small holes in the ground, creating spaces for the wooden beams to anchor. Each joint was reinforced to ensure the structure remained strong and stable, with the rear wall now fully integrated into the house's frame. He added more wooden beams, carefully placing them from the top of the roof, sloping down the sides to form the frame for the pitched roof. Each beam was measured and cut to fit, ensuring the slope would be stable and even. Each beam was locked into place, creating a sturdy angled structure to support the roof. The angled beams were crucial for both the aesthetic and the stability of the house, providing a solid foundation for the roof to be built upon. He gathered stones from the surrounding area, carefully selecting the strongest ones to build the stove. Mixing a bit of earth with water, he created a natural adhesive to bind the stones together, ensuring they would stay firmly in place. This simple yet effective mixture would allow him to construct a sturdy and durable structure for the kitchen, using the materials readily available around him. Once the base was prepared, he began building the stove, carefully arranging the stones to form a square foundation. He worked steadily, stacking the stones one by one, gradually building the height to the perfect level. Each stone was placed with precision, ensuring the base was strong and stable. Once the base was complete, he continued to build around it, leaving a hollow space in the center to form the firebox, where the flames would burn. This open space would allow for efficient heat distribution while keeping the fire contained. He began building the chimney, stacking several stones on top to form a vertical shaft that would allow the smoke to escape. The chimney was carefully shaped and reinforced to ensure proper functioning. He cut a wooden board to make a glue mixing tray. The board was carefully measured and nailed together at the edges, shaped to the correct size, ensuring enough volume to hold the building materials. Once the tray was ready, he carefully poured the mud mixture into it, ensuring it was the right consistency for binding the stones. He began by placing the first layer of stones, arranging them with precision to form a solid base for the stove. After positioning each stone, he applied the mud mixture between them, pressing it into the gaps to secure the stones and create a strong bond. The mud not only held the stones in place, but also filled any small crevices, ensuring that the structure would be sturdy and stable. With each new layer, he continued to stack the stones, making sure they were level and aligned. He repeated the process of applying the mud mixture between each layer, gradually building the walls higher. The weight of the stones and the strength of the mud created a solid, lasting structure. As the walls took shape, he carefully adjusted the placement of the stones to maintain balance, ensuring the stove would be both functional and durable. As he built the walls, he carefully placed wooden beams to create the framework for the windows. He continued working on the surrounding walls, carefully stacking the stones and securing them with the mud mixture. Each layer was meticulously placed, ensuring the walls were not only sturdy, but also uniform. The stone walls gradually rose, becoming a solid integrated structure that would form the foundation of the house. He paid close attention to every detail, making sure the stones were aligned and the mud binding was consistent, reinforcing the strength of the entire construction. As he worked, the walls became increasingly robust, creating a reliable and cohesive framework that would support the house for years to come. He continued to carefully measure and cut the wooden panels, fixing them into place as the stone walls continued to rise around them. The wood formed a sturdy frame for the window openings, ensuring that the structure would remain stable while still leaving gaps for the windows. As the walls grew higher, the wooden frames took shape, marking where the windows would eventually be installed, allowing natural light and ventilation into the house. He carefully placed a total of 3 window frames, 2 at the front of the house and 1 on the side. The 2 frames at the front were positioned symmetrically, ensuring they were evenly spaced to allow natural light into the living area. The frame on the side was strategically placed to provide additional ventilation and light, while also adding a touch of balance to the overall design. Each frame was securely integrated into the stone walls, creating openings that would soon be fitted with windows. These thoughtful placements not only improved the functionality of the house, but also contributed to its aesthetic appeal. With the walls complete, he turned his focus to the roof. To start, he carefully measured and placed the wooden planks across the top of the walls, ensuring they fit perfectly along the length of the house. Beginning at one side, he worked his way across, laying each plank so that it sat snugly against the next. The planks were arranged to cover the entire roof surface, with no gaps left between them to prevent water from seeping through. Using nails, he carefully fastened each plank to the supporting beams below, making sure they were tightly fixed to create a strong, stable roof structure. The tightly packed planks formed a solid foundation for the roof, providing protection against the elements. He then began shaping the edges of the roof, carefully sawing the planks to create clean, even cuts along the sides. Using wooden slats, he attached edging along the edges, firmly fixing them in place. The edging not only enhances the aesthetics of the roof, giving it a finished look, but also helps reinforce the structure. He laid a large tarp over the roof, spreading it evenly across the surface. The tarp served as an additional protective layer, ensuring that the structure underneath would be shielded from the elements. Once the tarp was securely in place, he began spreading a layer of earth over it, evenly distributing the soil across the roof surface. The layer of earth not only provided extra insulation, but also helped to secure the tarp, keeping it in place. He then laid down green grass mats, carefully placing them over the layer of earth to cover the roof completely. The grass mats were arranged neatly, ensuring they fit together well, creating a seamless, natural covering. The grass would not only enhance the appearance of the roof, blending it harmoniously with the surrounding environment, but also provide additional insulation and help retain moisture. The final touch of greenery gave the roof a beautiful organic look, completing the house with a natural, eco-friendly design that blended perfectly into the landscape. He continued to pile more stones on top of the chimney, raising it above the roof line. Each stone was carefully placed to ensure the chimney was stable and secure. Once he reached the desired height, he placed a cap on top of the chimney. He gathered more stones, carefully selecting those that would be suitable for paving the floor. Once he had enough stones, he mixed some mud with water to create a thicky paste that would help bond the stones together. With the materials prepared, he began laying the floor for the house. Starting from the corner of the room, he spread a layer of mud evenly across the ground, creating a solid base for the stones. Then, one by one, he pressed the stones firmly into the mud, ensuring each one was tightly set next to the other. He made sure the stones were aligned and level, carefully working his way across the room, filling the floor space with a neat pattern of stones. Starting from the corner of the room, he spread a layer of mud evenly across the ground, creating a solid base for the stones. Then, one by one, he pressed the stones firmly into the mud, ensuring each one was tightly set next to the other. He made sure the stones were aligned and level, carefully working his way across the room, filling the floor space with a neat pattern of stones. For the two front window frames, he carefully measured and built wooden frames for the window panes. Each frame was cut and assembled with precision to fit perfectly into the openings, ensuring a snug and secure fit. Once the wooden frames were complete, he selected clear plastic sheeting to act as the window panes, providing a lightweight and functional alternative to glass. He carefully stretched the clear plastic sheet over the wooden frames, smoothing it out to avoid wrinkles or creases. He secured the sheet to the frame, ensuring it was secure and taut. The clear plastic sheet allowed natural light to enter the house while protecting it from the elements. He added a decorative touch to the window frames by attaching wooden trims cut into a jagged zigzag pattern resembling saw teeth. For the side window, he crafted 2 separate shutters to fit perfectly within the frame. Each shutter was carefully measured and built from wooden planks, assembled to form sturdy yet lightweight panels. He ensured that the shutters were of equal size and thickness, allowing them to align seamlessly when closed. The addition of the shutters not only provided functionality, allowing control over light and ventilation, but also enhanced the rustic charm of the house. He decided to build a simple bed frame to furnish his new home. He started with the foot of the bed. He then constructed a rectangular frame by joining together wooden slats for the headboard and footboard. Using nails and wood joints, he secured the pieces together, ensuring the bed frame was sturdy and stable. He constructed the bed platform by cutting wooden planks to size and arranging them evenly across the frame. These planks were nailed down firmly to create a flat, solid surface for the mattress or bedding. He set out to make a simple table and chairs for his home. For the table, he chose a sturdy tree branch with natural branches for the legs. He attached a rectangular wooden tabletop made from smooth planks. As for the chair, he also used a round piece of wood to make the chair legs and nail boards on top to create a seat. He built a simple wall shelf to add storage space to his home. He chose a spot on the wall and began attaching wooden slats directly to the surface. The design was minimal yet functional, blending naturally with the rustic style of the house. He began constructing the main door for the house by assembling wooden planks to create a sturdy base. He carefully aligned the planks side by side and fastened them together with horizontal and diagonal wooden supports on the back, ensuring the door was strong and durable. To add character to the door, he attached smaller wooden pieces on the front in a decorative pattern, giving it a unique and rustic appearance. After checking the alignment, he attached hinges to one side of the door, securing them firmly with screws. Finally, he mounted the door onto the frame, adjusting it to ensure it opened and closed smoothly. The finished door was both functional and visually appealing, providing a strong and stylish entrance that complemented the rustic charm of the house. As the sun began to set, he gathered firewood and kindled it. Using the stone stove he had built earlier, he skillfully lit the fire, carefully tending to it until it burned evenly. He began to cook dinner, using the simple ingredients available. The aroma of the food spread through the air. When the meal was ready, he sat down to enjoy it, savoring every bite after a long day of hard work. After eating, he cleaned up and got ready for the night. He climbed into his handmade bed, letting the peaceful sounds of nature lull him to sleep. The next morning, he resumed his work with renewed energy. He began by gathering stones from the surrounding area, selecting ones of suitable size and shape to create a sturdy perimeter for his house. Starting at one corner, he carefully laid the stones along the base of the house, ensuring they formed a continuous line that connected to the wooden fence he had built earlier. Using a mix of mud and water as a natural adhesive, he placed each stone firmly into position, filling in the gaps to create a strong and cohesive border. He worked methodically, building up the stone edging layer by layer to ensure it was both secure and visually appealing. As he placed each stone, he adjusted its position to ensure it fit securely and neatly alongside the wooden planks. He used mud as a binding agent, filling any small gaps between the stones and the wall to lock everything firmly in place. This technique helped to anchor the wooden walls more securely to the ground, providing additional support and durability. The stone edging not only reinforced the structural integrity of the house, but also enhanced its rustic aesthetic, making it feel like an organic part of the surrounding landscape. He carefully selected moss-covered stones, choosing ones with natural texture. He arranged the stones closely together, ensuring they formed a continuous border around the yard. Carefully selecting stones of varying sizes, he began by placing the first layer in a rough circular pattern, gradually building up the shape with more stones, making sure they were tightly fitted together. He set out to gather more stones from the surrounding area, carefully selecting those of various sizes and shapes that would fit together well to form a durable outdoor floor. Once he had enough rocks, he took more dirt, mixing it with water to create a thick, sticky mixture that would hold the rocks in place, just as he had done with the interior floor. Starting from one corner of the yard, he spread a layer of mud across the ground, preparing a solid base for the stones. Then, he began laying the stones one by one, pressing them into the mud, ensuring each piece was tightly aligned with the others. He worked systematically, moving across the yard and filling in the space with a smooth, even surface. As he placed the stones, he made sure to adjust their positions, ensuring they fit snugly together with no large gaps between them. The stones were arranged closely, creating a stable and natural-looking floor. The process was repetitive but satisfying, and with each stone laid, the outdoor area transformed into a beautiful and functional space, ready to be enjoyed. The earthy tones of the stones and the mud blended seamlessly with the rustic surroundings of the house, completing the natural feel of the entire space. He decided to build a simple outdoor table and chairs to place in the yard, using the same natural materials to maintain the rustic, homely aesthetic of the house. For the table, he sawed the wood right off the stump to make the table legs. For the tabletop itself, he used larger wooden planks, arranging them side by side and fixing them together with nails or wooden pegs. After assembling the table, he made sure it was stable and level, ensuring a solid surface for outdoor dining or relaxation. For the chair, he followed a similar approach. He used smaller pieces of wood for the legs, cutting them to the appropriate height. Then he attached a wooden board to make the seat. For the areas of the yard where he didn't lay large stones, he used smaller pebbles to create a distinct and textured surface. He carefully scattered the pebbles closely together, allowing them to cover the ground evenly. The small stones were arranged in a way that they fit snugly against each other, creating a smooth, decorative pattern that complemented the larger stone areas. Finally, he decided to make a wooden chair with a backrest. He chose sturdy, straight pieces of wood for the frame and carefully measured the dimensions to ensure the chair was comfortable and functional. With its simple yet sturdy design, provided a perfect spot to sit and enjoy the view of the yard. It blended harmoniously with the natural surroundings, offering both comfort and style, just like the stone bench he had created earlier. And so, his house was complete. Thank you all for joining him on this incredible journey. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss any of the upcoming content. Goodbye for now, and see you in the next video.